Can we talk about the display resolution? Oh my God. Yeah, we can talk about that. I forgot about this. So there was a discussion on Twitter about display lag. There's two people that I trust to do the input lag stuff. It's Noodles and it's WYD. Yeah, he's from France, who tests a lot of the input lag in fighting games. He posted this website, inputlag.science, that you can click on here. And it has a big list of all of the information gathered about input lag for fighting games and how it all works, and the methodology and the testings and all of the stuff that they do to determine how, all of this works. This part right here, on modern consoles, does 720p and 1080p settings change the lag? And it says, nope, we tested this thoroughly, nothing changes. Moreover, the game rendered in a fixed 1080p is just downscaled to fit on your screen if necessary. It's pronounced wide? Okay. This is a big point of contention because a lot of players will say that 720p or 1080p on the console changes input lag. And tournament players will go to the main tournament setting or whatever tournament station they're sitting at, change the resolution on the console to 1080p down to 720p because they think that the input lag on it is better. So after extensive testing with their methodology, they've said, nope, there's no input lag changes. And Noodles has also, another person who has been doing a lot of the testing, has said, yeah, there's no significant difference right here. I've tested about 5 different games. 720p makes no meaningful difference in input lag. Where BG Callisto tweeted this post and said, on modern consoles, it doesn't change anything. And says, @RunItBlack, please stop changing my stage consoles during TWT. It doesn't do shit. And he says, I don't believe that. Ask TK, JDCR, and Repal. And then Hanzo says, I'll be glad to call them both dinguses. And it got into this argument where they're discussing, the input lag and this and that, and claiming, well, I don't know, I see the science, but I don't believe it. I still think that I can tell the difference, and there's a difference between 720p and 1080p. So I can see the frames. That's what they were getting at on Twitter. It would be better if the science was public. Inputlag.science. Controller lag methodology and results. Game engine lag methodology results. It's all there. They've done the testing for it. And both of them have said, we tested the difference between 720p and 1080p on consoles. There's no meaningful difference. It's the same. The reason that this is a common misconception, from what I understand, is that last console generation, there was a difference between 720p and 1080 or whatever. But in this generation, there is no difference. People have done the testing and say, like, hey, this stuff doesn't change anything. And then they're like, nope, I don't believe it. They say, like, well, I don't know. I can just tell it. There's a difference. I can just feel it. The thing is that the results say that that's not true. So unless there's some methodology that they're not testing, or there's some, thing that they miscalculated, which seems unlikely given that they've tested all these other games and shown their methodology, right? You would just assume the science is correct and that it's a placebo. Logan came in and said, what's it called? Not believing in this science makes you like a flat earther or something. Like, he said something like that, which was pretty funny. As funny as the Finder coming through with the Twitch Prime. Thanks very much. It doesn't matter if there's a difference or not, as long as you feel one. I think that you are probably correct that if they think there's lag, it's like a placebo that'll make them miss stuff. So that's the issue, is in your head, right? But yeah, someone says maybe there's something that they don't know about, like frame skipping or some weird stuff. That's the thing that I think is potentially happening with Tekken, right? You have to think about PS4s in a console environment that's like probably the worst place a PS4 can operate from. It's in like a room full of lots of people, constantly having Bluetooth devices plugged in and out of it, constantly, on all day long in like a hot area, like in this crowded pool area with lots of heat, and just playing Tekken for 12 hours a day or whatever. There's always going to be like weird claims like that, because maybe a console did get hot and drop a frame or something, and they thought it was the difference between 1080p or 720p or something. The thing about 720p versus 1080p is that it does make a visual difference on the screen. In terms of like when you look at the menus and when you look at the timer and when you look at text, you can tell the difference between the two when you're looking at it. The streamers get pissed when people change their consoles because they're like, dude, this input lag shit is made up, and every time you change my console from 1080p to 720p, you make the screen look much worse for the viewers. When you do it, it makes my stream look worse. So now everybody at home thinks my stream looks ugly, and it's your fault for changing something that doesn't actually affect input lag. My favorite argument was like, I don't know, man. Me and JDCR and whoever all think that it's like, messed up, and we're all in the top 16. So there's no way all of us think this way and we could be wrong. And Rickster replied with, or you could all just be wrong. it does suck to feel like the console's dropping frames. And I've seen in like mini fighting games where like the game will just freeze sometimes or chug because the console gets hot and it won't work. You know, there's weird like hitch or something. There's like weird shit that'll happen with consoles. So I know what they're talking about. But the only thing that we know for sure is that in this case, that the resolution situation does not cause additional input lag. The craziest thing to me is just how many people don't believe in the science. Although I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. There's a lot of people who believe in delay-based netcode.